welcome to the latest episode of the Connection Table podcast here at the Biblical Studies Center in beautiful Boise, Idaho, right by Boise State University. If you know where the stadium is, the blue turf, we're just a block south of there, and you can come visit us anytime. I'm Daniel Bobinski. I am the education director here doing our weekly Connection Table podcast with some mid January updates because there's about a half a dozen topics I want to discuss with you, things happening here at the BSC that we're involved with, and that you might want to know about because you might want to get involved as well. The first thing I want to talk about is our Bible studies. We have started doing Bible studies here at the BSC on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. And that's at 10 o'clock every Sunday ever since December. So if you maybe, are the type of person who don't like going to church, or you know somebody who doesn't like going to church, but you still want to learn about the Bible, this is a place you can come. Or maybe you slept in and missed your 9 o'clock service and still want to go learn about the Bible. But we meet on the main floor at 10 o'clock every Sunday morning. We don't do worship. We don't pass the collection plate. We just discuss scripture. And it's very interactive. People can ask questions and get their questions answered. That's a great thing to do, right? You got questions about the Bible? Come on down. And if you want to, like I said, bring a friend who maybe doesn't ever want to darken the door of a church. I've got some friends like that I'm never going to a church, but they'll come to a non-church and they can sit and talk. It's not unidirectional. It's very interactive and hear about the gospel. We've had people come to the Lord, come to know saving grace with the Lord Jesus Christ just by coming to these Bible studies. So I encourage you to come and invite your friends. 10 o'clock every Sunday morning here at the BSC. If you don't know, the address is 1025 Belmont Street, 1025 Belmont. Punch that into your GPS, takes you right to us. The second thing I want to talk about coming up this at the end of this month is the Worthy Conference. This is a conference, a 2-day conference, going to be held at 10 Mile Church in Meridian on the 28th and 29th of January. This is a conference for churchgoers, how to learn how to make your church more effective. If you've not heard about it, you can go to the Valley Network's website, the Valley Network, I forget exactly their URL. If you just do a search for the Valley Network, you'll find it. But we're going to be doing a workshop there. The BSC is doing a workshop on equipping the equippers, and I'll be facilitating that workshop. So if you want to learn how to raise up ministry leaders in your church, a lot of times pastors don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the time. They're doing all sorts of pastoral duties, and so they don't have time to train people up into leadership. Well, that's where the BSC comes in. And I'll be doing a workshop on how to do that, how to bring people into leadership. Well, and we have lots of stuff to do. We offer certificates here at the BSC, but I'll be doing a workshop on how to create training if you want to train up people on your own. But we're also going to be a resource for you. That is going to be, again, January 28th, 29th. It is a Wednesday and a Thursday in Meridian. Go to the Valley Network website to get tickets for that. All right. Also, want to talk about something we're doing on the 30th of January, and that is the BSC has restarted our speaker series. Years ago, we used to have speakers once a month come on in. We're doing that again now. And at the end of January here on the 30th, it's a Friday night, Neil Mammon, Pastor Neil Mammon, he's been a pastor, he's a prolific author, very dynamic speaker. He's going to be doing a presentation Friday night, January 30th, on debunking the myths of Jesus. Some people have strong misconceptions about Christ, and Neil's going to be addressing those. Be about a 45-minute presentation or so, and then about a 45-minute Q&A. So if you have questions, you can ask Neil. He will provide answers. That's going to be here at the BSC, again, 6:30 p.m. on Friday night, January 30th. That is a free event. It's going to be on the main floor. Bring some friends to that, especially if people have questions about Jesus. Who is Jesus? What's he about? Maybe you've heard some people get confused about things. Bring on down. Neil will be able to address those. That's going to be a monthly event here at the BSC, our speaker series. And so pay attention to our podcast that we do here each Friday afternoon to learn who our speakers are coming up. I also want to talk a little bit about our classes. I mentioned briefly before that we offer classes to help train people up in ministry. We've been here for 53 years, providing classes for students at the Boise State University through our relationship with Oklahoma Christian. And so people can take classes here, get college credit, transfer them to BSU for college credit as an elective. But we're doing a big outreach now into the community. So if you, we're not going to forget about our students at BSU, but if you want to learn about things in the Bible, we have all these classes and the prices, right? $10 for a 5-week class. Screaming deal. Our classes, the first session of the spring semester, are already underway, but starting next month on February 16th is going to be our second session for the spring semester. And we're starting a whole new series toward a certificate in biblical counseling. This is proving to be a very popular class. They've already filled up. Not filled up. We've already met our minimum number of students, is what I should say, for people who can take that class. So they will be. It's a green light. It's a go. And again, $10 for a 5-week class on that's going to be the foundations of biblical counseling, and then essential counseling skills, taught by licensed counselors. This is going to be a certificate program. It's going to be a 75-hour certificate and a 150-hour certificate, your choice. But that starts in mid-February. So if this is something of interest to you, check out our website, which is boisebsc.org. boisebsc.org. Take a look at the classes page, and you can sign up for these classes there. I've talked to some people even this morning saying they've been thinking about getting a certificate in biblical counseling for years, and they just learned about this opportunity and they're all excited about it. So, and this is open for everybody, by the way. If you're a pastor, this could be a class that you might want to take. If you have people in your ministry, in your church, you've sensed a gifting for this, but there's no training. This is a training they can get to learn how to provide some pastoral counseling or some biblical counseling in your congregation. We're also, by the way, going to be offering classes on the New Testament. We got a class on the Old Testament going on right now, taught by John Knox. Not that John Knox, a different John Knox. And then we have a class on the overview of the New Testament that's going to be starting mid-February, 5-week class. And then we got a class on Thursday afternoon starting that same week, mid-February, on love, which we've called "What's Love Got to Do with It?" And it's Learn to Love Like Jesus, a deep study in 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then, of course, I'm teaching the class on Friday mornings, which we just did this morning, on the biblical worldview. So right now we're doing Worldview 101, which is a biblical worldview. And then starting in February, we're going to have 5 weeks on comparative worldviews so that you can take a look at what does Islam say about those things? What does secular humanists say about this? What do the neo-Marxists say about these things? What do cosmic humanists say about those things? So we'll be able to see when we're watching a movie or reading a book or listening to a song, we'll be able to figure out what they're trying to sell us because we'll understand the worldview. And I got a little hint for you. Whatever you believe about God informs the rest of your worldview. Anyways, I encourage you to go to the website, boisebsc.org. Take a look at the classes and sign up. And also, by the way, there's a class on hearing God's voice. That's an online class. If you think you might want to be better at hearing God's voice, that's going to be a good class for you on Monday mornings, also starting mid-February. All of our classes, by the way, now apply to a certificate of some kind. I mentioned the counseling certificate. We also are offering certificates in apologetics, in biblical studies, and in missions. So, like almost all these classes are going to fit into one of those certificates. In fact, all of them will, to more than one certificate. And then, if you're interested, in the summertime, we're going to be offering a certificate in a condensed form on Christian education. So if you want to learn how to create a better Christian education in your ministry, in your church, in your fellowship, this will be a series of classes, a whole 25, 30-hour certificate in that. And I want to add this in too. We've been talking with the board and with the director here, and if you have at least 6 people in your congregation, or you can gather at least 6 people, if you're within driving distance, we can actually come to you and do a class at your location. You don't have to come down to the BSC. There are some requirements, some minimum requirements for that. You can contact me. Just reach out through the website, and I'll be happy to answer your questions for that. But again, I don't want to let our location be a limiting factor for you. If you think you want to learn these skills and learn this material, and you want us to come to you, that's a distinct possibility. All right. Wrapping up, I want to also talk about our lunches. We'll just say, hey, if you know somebody who attends Boise State University, every Thursday, the BSC provides a free lunch for students. It's a way to bring students here. They get free food. What college student doesn't like that? And it is a place, a way for them to get familiar and feel comfortable being in a Christian environment without being judged. And we can start having Christian conversations. And people have come to know Jesus Christ by doing this. And this is why the BSC does this. I will say this too: if you have a church and you'd like to sponsor one of these lunches, we always appreciate churches who will sponsor a lunch. You can contact our office, talk to Bonnie or Maddie about how to do that. They're the ones that oversee our lunches. And I got to say, every week we got between 80 and 120 kids showing up here getting free lunch, and it's an opportunity for them to hear the gospel. So another ministry opportunity for you. With that, I want to say thanks for tuning in to the Connection Table. This is Daniel Bobinski. I am the Education Director here at the BSC. If you got
Us
any
at
questions,
boisebsc.org.
at all, go to the website, boisebsc.org. You can send us a message on the contact page. There are phone numbers there to reach out. Happy to answer your questions. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Until then, be blessed.
Visit us at boisebsc.org to learn more and sign up for classes. Every class we offer applies toward one or more of our certificate programs. We're the Biblical Studies Center, a place to connect and grow right here in Idaho's Treasure Valley.